people out there who say that in season 3 Star Trek Discovery will find its footing the same way as Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Star Trek Enterprise found their footing in season 3. There are several problems with that. First of all, if we discount the immediate cliffhangers, like in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, season 2 ended in the Jem'Hadar, and then Star Trek Enterprise season 2 ended in the Expanse, so we expected the resolution of the cliffhanger. But beyond that, what storylines from the first 2 seasons are we looking forward to? In Star Trek The Next Generation, it's the Romulans were reintroduced, the Borg were introduced, Data was discovering his place in the world, all that stuff in Deep Space Nine. We had that great episode in the first season with Dewitt in the first season that displayed the relationship between Cardassians and Bajorans, and we were looking forward to that continuation. We saw the story of Odo, who was trying to fit in, and we kept looking forward to so many story elements that were introduced in the first 2 seasons, and Enterprise the same way. It's the stories of the characters, like will Malcolm Reed finally fit in, and at the same time, how are the relations with the Klingons going to go, and how is the relationship between Captain Archer and Shran going to go, and the relationship between the humans and the Vulcans. And there are so many story elements that they introduced in the first 2 seasons that were seen as poor. I mean, yeah, there were so many bad episodes in the first 2 seasons of TNG, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise. I know why people see them as poor, but there were also so many story elements introduced that we would like to see continued. And in the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery, what story elements are you looking forward to see the conclusion? You're looking forward to see the conclusion of the immediate cliffhanger, like just in Deep Space Nine, the Jem'Hadar, and in Enterprise, the Expanse, and in Star Trek Discovery, the last episode, Such Sweet Sorrow Part 2. You want to see the conclusion of the cliffhanger, but beyond that, what story elements were introduced in the first 2 seasons that you want to see continued? What? Like, you watch the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery, which, unlike some detractors who were like, I'm going to watch this once and hate it forever, I'm a loyal Star Trek fan. I actually made the effort to watch Star Trek Discovery both seasons twice. I watched both seasons twice. And I'm asking, what are we looking forward to? What story elements are we looking forward to continue in season 3? What? Like, everybody knows that Captain Georgiou is Emperor Georgiou. Like, everybody who remained on the ship knows she is who she is. Like, that's no surprise. And what else is there? There's no story to continue. Like, what story elements are there in the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery that we want to see? What is it that we are dying to see how it turns out? It's like the simplest thing of writing. like if I compare it to other TV shows, like you can have such a simple thing in writing, like Niles and Daphne and Frasier, or Fox Mulder and Dana Scully in X-Files, like unresolved romance. Like that's a simple thing to introduce into a show that you are looking forward to the next season to see. Do they get each other? Do they get each other? Or they do the same in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a couple of seasons with Fitz and Simmons. Like they're friends at first and then they finally get each other. That's a very simple thing. Or unresolved conflicts, like they literally did that in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Like first they are at peace, they don't know what to think of each other. They do the same in every Star Trek show, that they have like adversaries, but they don't know if they're going to be at war or going to resolve it. They like leave a story that leaves us guessing, are they going to resolve it, or are they going to go into war? And every time a new season starts, we are wondering, are they going to resolve it now, or are they going to war? We're always looking forward to thinking, these story elements we got, maybe they're going to resolve it now, or what does Star Trek Discovery Season 1 and 2 deliver in terms of, stories that leave us wanting? What do I want from Star Trek Discovery Season 3? I watched both seasons twice. What do I want? Like, there is no unresolved story. They resolved all their stories. Maybe they thought they were being cancelled. They definitely should have been, because it's such a shitty show. I'm sorry. They definitely should have been like 2 seasons ago, but what story is there that would leave me wanting to see a resolution? We know that Captain Giorgio is Emperor Giorgio, and I'm trying to think, like, what open storyline is there? There's like the love story between Kalber and Stamets, and but they were getting along again. That doesn't really leave me wanting. At the end of season 2 they had it resolved, I think. They had it resolved very easily, much too easily, even though I don't know, I have to go in the mode of Star Trek headcanon kind of person and think that what would be a cool story, because Stamets is part tardigrade because of the DNA thing, and Hugh Kalber, he's part mushroom, that there will be some compatibility problem in one episode, that Stamets is part tardigrade and Hugh Kalber is part mushroom. That could actually make a cool episode. It's not like something Alex Kurtzman would think of, but that could actually make a cool episode. Like they were finally going to get back together, but then they found out that their part tardigrade and part mushroom cells would have such a heavy reaction to each other that would be really extreme. That might actually make a cool episode. It's not like something Alex Kurtzman would think of, but that might actually make a cool episode. But other than that, from the first 2 seasons, what is there actually to look forward to? And it just puzzles me if I compare. If people say Star Trek Discovery will find its footing in the 3rd season, like other Star Trek shows, all the other Star Trek shows, they had stories going on that we were dying to see the resolution of, like TNG with the Romulans and the Borg and Q obviously, and DS9 was the Dominion and the Bajorans and Cardassians and all that, and Enterprise was Andorians, Vulcans, and then they introduced the Xindi, but also had the Tellarites, and they all had their stories that needed to be continued. In Star Trek Discovery, it's like Season 3 doesn't have any stories that need to be continued. So what are we looking forward to? Nothing. There's nothing to look forward to. Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing to look forward to in Season 3. So why would it find its footing? Why? How? Based on what? Nothing. There's nothing a third season could be based on. It's just more of the same. It's nothing. What are you looking? If you are watching this as a Star Trek Discovery fan, if you're like one of the 3 people who like this show, what are you looking forward to? Nothing. There's no story element that needs to be continued. There's nothing. There's no reason to still watch this show. So why should we? Nobody should. Nobody should. There's no reason to watch the show, so who cares? The fuck? It's stupid. Why do they waste their time? Nobody wants to watch this show. There's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing to want to watch. Sorry about that. What a waste of time. Don't watch this shit. There's nothing to look forward to. Who cares? It's a shit show. Who cares?